If you are just starting out in the wonderful world of business, you need to watch this video, so stay tuned. Hello again everyone, I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, we inspire. And I'm going to be referencing an article called 6 Ways to Rapidly Grow Your Career as a Complete Beginner. And it was written by Anthony J. Young, Y-E-U-N-G. So let's get right to it. Number 1, study people who are street smart, not book smart. There's a huge difference between learning from a book smart business professor who's never started a successful company versus learning from a street smart serial entrepreneur who founded numerous 8- and 9-figure businesses. One will take you to the book smart level, the other will help you grow faster than you could have imagined. Find a mentor. Find somebody that's doing what you want to do. Get under their wing. That's the best way to do it. Very simple. By learning from people who've succeeded, you'll get the actual lessons to help you reach their same level. Because even though they might not have had the best grades or even a diploma, they created results time and time again. Or as Mark Twain said, I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. Number 2, don't be in such a big rush to get paid. Don't make a judgment about which job you want to take based upon what the entry-level salary is. That's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Yeah, money's important, okay? But I want to give you like a real-life example using me as for instance. I was working with a company where the objective was to be the manager. I answered an ad for a management trainee position. It was a sales office. So I became, if you're going to manage the sales office, you have to be able to attract, train, and motivate and develop people, and you have to know how to sell. Well, the selling part I worked at, I was pretty good at it, was the top salesperson in my office. An opportunity came along, and they called on me and said, hey, Eli's dad, how would you like to go to OKC, Oklahoma City? We have an office there that we paid rent. We got one guy. We need a manager. We want you to get the office up and running. We know you're not licensed in Oklahoma. What we'll do is we'll give you $300 a week and pay for your hotel room. The rest is up to you. That was a huge cut in salary for me. I was what they call a grand man. Okay, a grand man is somebody that makes $1,000 a week. In sales, I was making $1,000 a week. So, hey, Eli's dad, you want to go make $300 instead? Work much, much harder? And the answer was an overwhelming yes. Why? It put me in a position. I wanted to be the manager of an office. What great opportunity. Here I was, starting from scratch, doing everything I was going to have to do to manage my office. And I went there. I struggled at the first, and then at the end it worked out great. We developed, created a number of people for the office. Somebody came in, took my place. They were very pleased with what I did, but I didn't make very much money doing it. Went back, started selling again, and making the money I was making, and then they said, hey, you want to go to Cincinnati, do the same thing. Went to Cincinnati, did the same thing, started from scratch, didn't have anybody in the office. So what happened? When push came to shove, I said to the man in charge, Bob Anderson, I said, you know what? I've earned my own office, don't you think? I had a position of strength. He said, you absolutely have. Where do you want to have your office? I went to San Diego. San Diego was not an office that was kicking butt. It was an office that was doing very, very little, barely paying the rent. So they said, we need you to do this, and we need you to make this amount of money for the office, for the company. That's what your objective is. That's your goal. But you know what? I'd already been there and done that. I'd already learned that lesson. I did more than what I had to do, and I wasn't getting paid. So as a result, when I got into San Diego, it took me a while, but I got that office up and running and was making some real nice money. Why? Because I hit the ground running. Think that way. Think about how you can put yourself in the best position to make money. Number 3, aim higher and think bigger than other people think. Here's a quote from Jim Rohn. Don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are high. Well, when I was working with that company, you're doing one little thing, they're taking you step by step. First you learn the presentation, you learn how to knock on a door, you learn how to close, you learn how to sell, all of those different aspects, but that's not the job. The job was to be the manager of the office. Every time we accomplished something, they said, hey, nice job, patting you on the back, best salesman in the office, blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't the objective, and they kept your mindset straight, which is like, hey, you're doing a good job, but that's not what you're here for. What you're here for is to become a manager of an office. These people constantly challenge me. Okay, that's great, you did that, next. You did that, next. You follow what I'm saying? You have to have a big dream, a big focus in order to achieve big things. Otherwise, you're putting a ceiling on yourself. You don't want to do that, am I right? Number 4, create the job you want. Folks who never do any more than what they get paid for never get paid for any more than they do. That's a quote from Elbert Hubbard. Always be proactive. That's how you can grow your career and advance faster than other people. Rather than just doing the job you're told to do, offer to do more. As I've already explained, I did that. Okay, I went to Oklahoma City for $300 a week, still even had to pay for my own food. And then went to Cincinnati, same deal. All right, and I was making like $1,000 a week before that, so it was a significant dip in income. But by going there and gaining that experience, did I create the job for myself that I wanted to create, which is to be the manager of my very own office? You bet. When you struggle, embrace it. The fact is, very few people rapidly grow in your career on the first try. Most people fail at the highest level of any industry. Most people at the highest level of any industry, they had to fail, make mistakes, and learn humbling lessons over and over again. But you know what? That's a good thing. The counterintuitive secret is that succeeding on your first try is actually a disadvantage, because when times get tough, you don't have the mental strength, experience, or confidence to overcome that. Quote from Colonel Chris Hadfield, "Early success is a terrible teacher. You're essentially being rewarded for a lack of preparation, so when you find yourself in a situation where you must prepare, you can't do it because you don't know how." But if you learn how to deal with setbacks, you build your perseverance muscles to handle challenges and seek new information. That's why everybody's got to pay their dues in whatever field they're in. It trains you to overcome adversity, it keeps you grounded, and it tests how badly that you really want to reach those goals. No matter who you are, sometimes at work you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. Just do it. Stop complaining. 6, put your head down and get to work. No matter how hard you work, someone else is working harder. That's a quote from Elon Musk. Heard of him? While this video is about growing your career as fast as possible, I'm not encouraging you to find hacks or loopholes to rise in the ranks while putting in the least amount of work possible. That's not the right approach. This video is made to show you that there's a different path you can take to advance in your career. But to walk that path, it takes an incredible work ethic. Because even if you say all the right things and buy all the right books, you're still going to have to sit down, turn off all the distractions, and do a lot of deep focused work. The reality is a career can be very competitive if you're applying for your dream job. Chances are many other people are applying for that same job. That's why if you want to rapidly grow in your career, you got to work harder than others. When I was going to be a school teacher, there were 400 different jobs in this area for school teachers. I thought, wow, fantastic. Except there were 4,000 applicants. I went around to all the different school districts. I wrote down the names of all the gatekeepers. I knew them by name. I would go on a regular basis so that they knew me by name. I worked hard just to get the interview. You follow what I'm saying? Look at the people at the top of any industry, whether it's sports, acting, business, science, writing, whatever they're doing. Sure, they probably have some talent, but the overwhelming odds are that their work ethic is what sets them apart. And Eli, you can bet that Seth Curry is taking 1,000 shots a day. He's working harder than other people are working, just as an example that you can relate to. Whether you want a better job, a promotion, or a new career, it's going to take effort. Are you willing to sit down and put on the work to make it happen? If you are you willing to commit to it for several years to finally achieve your dreams? That's a question you have to ask yourself. So let's make things happen. Once again, huge shout out to Anthony J. Young for this article. We stole a lot of his prose, added my 2 cents. I hope you got a whole bunch out of it. And remember, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.